This is breaking news.
We're following breaking news here on CBS 2 and streaming on CBS News New York. Good afternoon. I'm Dana Tyler. Former President Donald Trump has arrived in New York City, wheels down at about 3:27, coming in from West Palm Beach, Florida. He's at LaGuardia Airport ahead of his arraignment in a Manhattan courtroom tomorrow. Again, the plane landing just a little more than 5 minutes ago, taking about 2 hours and 20-plus minutes to get here. Mr. Trump, we know, was on the plane. His son, Eric, also other people we're seeing going on. We're not specifically sure who each individual is. Mr. Trump will next go into a motorcade, of which we have seen a line of black cars waiting at LaGuardia Airport. The motorcade will then take the president, former president, to, as now we're seeing everyone get off the plane. Chopper 2, are you there? Can you help us here? That's a great picture. That's a great picture. Let us know what you're seeing there as people are deplaning. I don't believe Mr. Trump was among that first group there. You see all those cars?
So, Dana.
Pardon?
Yeah, it does not appear Mr. Trump was in that first group. They were just getting all the other essentials off the airplane there. That plane just parked here about 2-3 minutes ago. They rolled the stairs up to the back of the 757. And again, his entourage will take everything off the plane first before we see Mr. Trump exit the airplane.
So it's 3:35, and we know that's not quite rush hour. Do you have a sense of what the travel plan is? I imagine the Grand Central Parkway, but I don't want to guess on any of this. Do you know?
Yeah, at this point, we haven't been told. I mean, I'm looking out the windows of the helicopter, and I mean, I can see traffic doesn't look all that bad. We were looking at the entourage that was here, the convoy of cars that were lined up here, and there's about 12.5 vehicles. You see the black vehicles that have been pulled up next to the airplane area. You can see the NYPD in the front of that area. As a matter of fact, that encircles the entire airplane if you look at the ambulance on top and what have you. So the NYPD, they will more than likely have a motorcade in front of them. We've seen in these type of movements before, where they'll have motorcycles that'll run in front of the police cars and block off entrances and exits to give the motorcade as smooth a transition from the airport over to Midtown Manhattan.
We know that as far as that traveling to Midtown, to Fifth Avenue, the corner of 57th and 5th, one building in to Trump Tower, which Trump actually moved into about 30 years ago, but now is a resident of Florida. This, again, a live picture on the ground. We apologize. It's a bit shaky there. This is LaGuardia Airport, the former president's plane, just landing a few moments ago. He will be in New York City overnight, and then as part of this historic trip tomorrow, taken to Manhattan Criminal Court in Lower Manhattan for his arraignment on charges. Still the indictment unsealed, but we learned last Thursday District Attorney Alvin Bragg felt that what was presented to the grand jury voting, it doesn't have to be a unanimous vote, but 12 out of 23 jurors voting, believing there is probable cause to continue to take this to court. Now, on the other hand, we also know today that President Trump, a slight change in his legal team, has added a lawyer, Todd Blanche, I believe that's the correct pronunciation of his last name, who ironically has worked with Alvin Bragg on previous criminal cases. Again, the scene here, the former president not coming down off this jet just yet. Our camera rather, is steady now, so we'll continue to watch this. We also saw in that group of black cars a FDNY squad. You know, and that's not a surprise when someone of this magnitude is traveling through the city. Often medical care is right there. Earlier today, the police commissioner and the mayor spoke about security, and of course we've been hearing for days about how all of the New York City police men and women are on duty in uniform protecting the city, as well as U.S. Marshals. And of course the president will be surrounded by Secret Service agents. Former president, and as a former president, he does get that security. Mayor Adams earlier today talking about security in the city and what to tell New Yorkers, and you know that of course you're allowed to say what you want to say, hold up a sign, all of that kind of thing, but to do that lawfully. He also suggested later today, as well as tomorrow, that people take public transportation. There are so many areas that are blocked off, including some streets which have frozen zones downtown, especially around Center Street, and the courthouse. Already down there, as we saw at the end of last week, the barricades, people press. So many, you know, this is a story that the world is covering, quite honestly, because this is the first former or sitting president who has ever been indicted. So all eyes are watching here, and of course all kinds of things can happen at these court proceedings. We do understand that the former president, this is for 2:15 tomorrow afternoon, another motorcade from Trump Tower down to the Manhattan Criminal Court building. Once you're in that building, you're under arrest. Apparently he is going to have a mugshot, but you know what? We don't know for sure. The fingerprints, and then you're in a courtroom with your attorneys standing before the judge, and then you know, you're asked, do you understand the charges? And again, of course, tomorrow, and Marcia Kramer just joining me now, you know, we do not know what is in this sealed indictment. We have heard more than 30 counts. Marcia Kramer joining me now. Marcia, important as we wait for former President Trump to get off of his private jet. Important to note that 30 counts in this particular case can mean small amounts of money. We just don't know what the accusations are.
Well, actually, Dana, people that I've talked to who are familiar with what goes on in grand jury cases point out that it's unlikely that if a payment of $130,000 was authorized, that it was paid in one check. And so many of the counts are expected to be counts of like a check of $5,000 or a check of $10,000, whatever the amount could be. So, you know, when we look at the numbers of charges, it could all add up to 130,000, but it could be not as many charges as we think.
Continuing to take a look here at the airplane, the 757, that might be someone flying the plane or some other type, because I saw, what do you call those? Oh gosh, what pilots have? Yes, right, epaulets or something. Right. Yes.
Right, you got the epaulets on the shoulder and the
yes, around the wrist.
On the sleeve. That's part of the flight crew. I'm just not sure if it's a pilot, co-pilot, or part of the flight staff. Hard to tell.
Okay. Again, we're still waiting for former President Donald Trump, who has been indicted to deplane at LaGuardia Airport. There is I was going to ask you to pull out, but I don't want to miss him coming out the door. There is a motorcade, a lot of black cars surrounding this jet. The cars will head to Trump Tower.
Dana, we should also point out that the reason they have such a large motorcade is that they want to make sure that there's intense protection from any possible disruption. And there's going to be lights and sirens. I'm also told that there might even be an ambulance.
There is. We saw it.
That follows the former president as well in case of anything. It's just that they want to be prepared. And the mayor has been talking about the fact that he wanted to pull out all the stops to make sure that this was a quiet, successful, and peaceful transfer of the president to his apartment in Trump Tower.
Marcia, you know, you're bringing up the trip. We watched the former president leave Mar-a-Lago gosh, it was just before 1 o'clock this afternoon. And there were people along the way in that 15 to 20-minute trip to Palm Beach International holding signs in support. For most of the signs I saw, people, you know, one deep, but lining the streets, holding them up for the motorcade for the former president to see.
But also, you have to understand that now that, you know, news organizations have shown the president flying to New York City and landing at LaGuardia, it's a sign to his supporters to go to Trump Tower to welcome him and to show their support for him where they know he's going to be landing. So obviously they want to go, and they want to, you know, they've been waving flags, they have posters, and they're going to be out there pushing his campaign for president in 2024.
As he has too, in his social media, he has been asking for donations. I've heard that his number has jumped. Last week we heard 3-4 million. I've heard 5. I've heard $7 million.
Well, Dana, you know, the thing that's really interesting here is that, you know, because I am on Donald. Is that Donald Trump?
Former President Donald Trump descending from his private jet, setting foot on the ground in Queens, where he was born, for a trip unlike any other. He will face indictment charges tomorrow in Manhattan criminal court. The 76-year-old now inside one of the many cars, part of a motorcade, traveled with Secret Service, additional ones here in New York City, as well as NYPD, federal marshals. There's just so much security along the way. And Marshall, as we speak, when he gets into the city, into Trump Tower, and just the irony of seeing that vision of him and Melania come down that elevator, what a different type of a trip this is. What do you know of his plans once he's...
Well, what I've been told by his by people in his camp is that he plans, when he gets to his apartment in Trump Tower, to meet with his legal team and his communications team and plot strategy, discuss what they know about the case.
Do we know who that is? Does that... kind of looks like Melania, but I've never seen her carrying things, so I'm not sure about that. And she didn't go to the same car that he went to.
Well, it also could have been Hope Hicks, who was one of his communications advisors, and
from Greenwich, Connecticut.
Indeed. You know, it's clear that he's traveling with a large group of people. They're all getting their luggage that was brought in from Mar-a-Lago, and I guess that they're going to be meeting with him when he goes to his Trump Tower apartment to plot strategy, to discuss what they know about the case, and to talk to him about what's going to happen tomorrow when he arrives at the courthouse. You know, whether he'll be mugged, his mugshot, whether he will be fingerprinted, and just the whole procedure about what's going to happen.
An interesting thing about this former president, he, just as far as control, having control, no matter is it a crowd of thousands or a one-on-one, this trip he does not have control.
See, I disagree with you.
Okay, go right ahead.
I think that he has no control over what's going to happen to him once he enters that building, when he goes into the courthouse. But before that, he has total control on what he does, what he says, and what emails he continues to put out, and what he also continues to post on social media. You know, just before I came into the set, I have received 3 more emails from his campaign team about various things, you know, attacking his opponents, raising money, attacking Alvin Bragg. So he has not gone quiet by any stretch of the imagination.
All right, well, let's okay, I gotcha. You got me there. But, so he's with his team, his lawyers. How about control-wise as far as not letting him out tonight?
Well, I don't think the Secret Service wants to let him out tonight. I think that that would be a dangerous thing. That's why they have sharpshooters on all the buildings around Trump Tower. That's why there are reports that they're going to close down the street so that people can't go by. And there's a real concern for his security. And they want to make sure that when he arrives at the courthouse tomorrow, he arrives safe and sound, that there's no problem. So that's the goal of the Secret Service. That's the goal of the FBI, which is also involved. That's the goal of the NYPD, and even the court officers who have also been a party to these negotiations.
Marcia, since Thursday, when we first learned of the indictment, and some things over the weekend, as we said, 30 counts, additional things have come out, but the secrecy of this, the unsealing of the indictment, we still do not expect that until tomorrow?
Well, that's court procedure. When the grand jury hands up an indictment, it is sealed, and the only person who can unseal the indictment is the judge, who has the power to unseal it. At that point, the judge, I believe, will tell what the counts are, what the charges are, and Mr. Trump will have to decide how to plead, and he and his attorneys. Obviously, he's going to plead not guilty. His attorneys have already said he was going to loudly plead not guilty. But an interesting point is that they said that they were not going to challenge the indictment itself tomorrow, that he was just going to plead guilty, and that was it. Now, sometimes when an indictment is unsealed, the attorneys will challenge the efficacy of the case and try to get it dismissed before he even pleads.
Marcia, as you're speaking, the motorcade now on its way with former President Donald Trump heading from LaGuardia Airport into Manhattan now, and to his home when he's here. He is a resident of Florida now at Trump Tower. So when we're talking about the tomorrow procedure, the indictment, another motorcade down to the courthouse, motions, we've heard a lot about motions, change the venue, statute of limitations, dismiss this. That's not necessarily something that happens at an arraignment.
Well, they could, but it's unlikely, given the fact that his attorneys have done numerous interviews over the last several days saying that they weren't going to challenge that. Tomorrow is a day, really, for him to come into court, for them to unseal the indictment, for him to discover exactly what the charges are, and then for them to plot what they want to do. Because everybody who's been thinking about this indictment has said there must be something else in the case that we don't know, because there are so many charges, and because Alvin Bragg, who is regarded as a very good prosecutor, remember, when he first came into office, he disbanded the grand jury that was investigating Donald Trump, and then when they reviewed the case, he found other things in the case that he felt were worth pursuing, and he decided that he was going to bring charges. Now, let's face it, he's had a controversial run as the Manhattan District Attorney. I don't believe this would be the case he wants to lose his office on by bringing a case he doesn't think he can make. I mean, still, Mr. Trump has to be convicted, and he is innocent until proven guilty.
Correct.
But I don't think that Alvin Bragg, who is a Harvard-trained lawyer, would have brought this case if he didn't think he had a good chance of making it stick.
The motorcade with the former president now making its way off the property of LaGuardia Airport. And again, we have the shot on the ground. We also have video for you from Chopper 2. Lots of black cars there. We did see more than a dozen people get off the airplane.
David, some of those cars will have his aides in them, but also there's extra security in those cars, and those people in those cars are well armed in case of any kind of trouble.
Well, we do not want to see that, and Mayor Adams and Commissioner Sewell speaking about that earlier today. Peaceful protests. There is no allowance for any type of violence on the way, as well as at Trump Tower, because we have seen protests there before for various reasons. Our Alice Gaynor is there live outside Trump Tower. She will be there as former President Trump arrives very soon. Alice, since they have the right of way with all of the traffic, what are things like there now on Fifth Avenue?
Dana, I have to say things out here along Fifth Avenue are very orderly at this hour, and they have been all day. Let me explain to you where exactly journalists are set up. We were across the street from Trump Tower between 57th and 56th Streets along Fifth Avenue, but then they moved everybody about a block away. So here we are between 56th and 55th along Fifth Avenue. Instead, where we were previously, they have NYPD buses set up. Those barricades that had been put away once he was no longer president, those have been taken back out. crowd. And now you can see my photographer, Matt Le Guin, is going to pan and show you. There are barricades all along both sides of the street here on 5th Avenue. Some supporters have gathered across the street here. We'd say there's a few dozen. But again, things have been orderly. There are also a few people who have homemade signs here that say, lock him up. We thought maybe people might start getting into it. But again, so far things have been very orderly. NYPD officers are out here. Obviously, the Secret Service has a plan. All of these agencies have been working together to ensure that what amounts to a few moments really goes smoothly out here and also at the courthouse. Now, as Marcia mentioned, we don't exactly know what he'll be doing tonight, but he's supposed to be, hunkering down and speaking with his attorneys. We know that his legal team, sources tell CBS News, he has added a third lead attorney on this case, Todd Blanche. He's a former federal prosecutor himself. He most recently was a white-collar criminal defense attorney. His law firm confirms to us that he did resign that position, so he has now joined that law team that includes Joe Tacopina, another attorney, as well as Susan Necklace. We got a preview of how she might handle this case. She was one of the attorneys in the Trump Organization trial that ended this fall. Want to show you again here at Trump Tower. Things very orderly. I don't know if you could see in the distance there, those NYPD buses. Might be hard to see because, again, there are a lot of journalists here from really all over. And buses are currently blocking, but that's Trump Tower there in the distance. We are awaiting to see when he's going to get here. When he was president, security was really tight. They had a security checkpoint kind of booth that was on 56th Street. You also couldn't drive between 5th and Madison, but once he was no longer president, all of that pretty much went away. And you could drive around here, walk around here, no problem. But once again, it's like deja vu. The barricades are back out here. So security is tight, and so far things are pretty calm out here. Once again, we are awaiting former President Trump's arrival to his residence here at Trump Tower. Dana?
All right, Alice, the traffic moving there where she is, right outside 5th Avenue, as we watch. Marcia Kramer joining me here in the studio. The motorcade carrying the former president and aides as well as security. And our chopper there. Dan, can you help us with the view? Okay, we'll get to that in just a moment. Right now, Mayor Adams and Police Commissioner Keyshawn Sewell, as I said earlier today, addressed the city's plans for security. There is the motorcade right now carrying the former president. Here is what the commissioner had to say.
As always, the NYPD is prepared to ensure that everyone is able to have their voices heard peacefully while exercising their First Amendment rights. We do this work in close collaboration with our federal, state, and local partners, because keeping our city safe is absolutely a collective effort. As the mayor stated, there are no credible or specific threats to New York City at this time. New Yorkers may see an increased police presence in parts of the city and should anticipate intermittent road closures over the next 2 days, particularly in Manhattan. To avoid delays, I too urge everyone to use mass transit when possible. As I said, our job is to facilitate and safeguard the rights of people to express themselves and those going about their daily activities. But I will remind everyone that violence and destruction are not part of legitimate, lawful expression, and it will never be tolerated in our city. The people we serve know this, just as they know that the NYPD will be out there today, tomorrow, and every day to make sure that they are safe.
Commissioner Sewell early this morning as we're watching the motorcade taking former President Donald Trump to his New York City home at Trump Tower. And again, traffic, we can tell everything's blocked off. Dan Rice in Chopper 2, can you give us your perspective there? Where are they right now?
Dana, they're just now getting onto the RFK Triborough Bridge. That is the traffic going towards the Manhattan and Bronx legs there. The traffic you see on the left side, that's all the slow-moving traffic. But yes, they did block the Grand Central Parkway so that the motorcade could get onto the bridge safely and smoothly. And you can see now that very long procession of about 16 vehicles making their way now onto the span coming over the East River of the bridge. More than likely, they'll come across the Manhattan leg and go down the west or the east side down the FDR Drive. But we're just going to have to follow it and see exactly where they what route they take before they make their way over the Trump Tower.
All right, thank you so much. Marcia Kramer, no problems here with the traffic, as you heard Dan. Talk about how we know that they do tabletop planning days ahead, even of the indictment. I mean, obviously things might have changed since Thursday, but this is just such a joint effort to make sure things are secure, and also to make sure, obviously, New York can be New York?
Well, I think that there's a number of things that the NYPD is worried about. Number one, they were worried about the possibility that the protesters would use cars to stop traffic, either to block bridges, to block tunnels, to block lower Manhattan. So tomorrow, when Mr. Trump is going to arrive at the courthouse, there's a plan to close down Foley Square, the area where the courthouses are located. Because one of the ways that people can protest peacefully without getting arrested is to drive at 5 miles an hour, and nobody's going to give you a ticket for driving slow. So that is one of the protest possibilities that the city has been girding for, and they've alerted both the MTA and the Port Authority, because it could be the bridges over the Hudson. It also could be the bridges over the East River. So there's a concern about that, but so far, as the mayor has said, there's no credible threats. They're just preparing for any and all occurrences.
They have to do that. Let's go back to Alice Gaynor. She's live outside Trump Tower. Alice?
Dana, you could see traffic is actually still moving along Fifth Avenue here. They have not closed this off just yet. In the past, when former President Trump was president, they would often take him along Madison Avenue. We don't exactly know which way he's going to go. I mean, there is a ton of Secret Service involved in this, and obviously they don't want to disclose all of these plans. But you can see traffic is moving along here. Across the street, there are supporters gathered, but we estimate it's about a few dozen, not as much as there used to be outside of Trump Tower whenever he was president, and of course he has called in the past for people to come show up for him. So there's a few dozen people out here. There are also people here with homemade signs that say lock him up and throw away the key. They have been not getting into it with each other. Thankfully, police are keeping everything orderly out here. There are these metal barricades right here, as pretty much as far as the eye can see. We're across the street and we're a block away. They actually moved journalists this morning. We were across the street, but in our place are these very large NYPD police buses. They're taking all kinds of security measures here around Trump Tower. We are awaiting the former president's arrival here. All of his supporters were spread out along the street here between 55th and 56th. They've kind of concentrated towards the corner over there to try and get a glimpse of him when he is dropped off here. We don't suspect that we'll be able to see him because the Secret Service wants to get him into his residence with as little fanfare as possible. We do know that later he should be sitting down talking strategy with his attorneys ahead of that court appearance tomorrow. Once again, here along Fifth Avenue, things are moving along just fine. We don't see this is the normal traffic here along Fifth Avenue, if you're familiar around this time. So nothing unusual here. A lot of people on the streets have stopped beyond where we are. They're just stopped looking. They're not going to be able to see anything, from over there, but people just want to see what's going on here, what could happen. And as soon as something does, Dana, we'll bring you another live report.